Hi, 8th graders. Now that you've successfully logged in, I am going to show you just a few tools that you may find useful to you during the test. So it should look pretty similar to the Math Cat and the ELA Cat, except you do have a periodic table here because it's science. So just in case you want to reference it, you have it available to you. You can also maximize it and make it larger. For whatever reason, it's not working right now. But you can also scroll through it and check out the different elements if you need them. It also tells you what kinds, how to read the periodic table and what kinds of elements there might be, groups of elements. You also have a calculator here, just like you did in the math section. So I don't know if it's exactly the same, but this is how you use this one. Don't worry about all this stuff. This is like very complicated. You most likely won't need to use it. So just focus on this section. So let's say you want to do 89 divided by 3. Your answer is going to show up here. You can hit the enter button, and then let's say you wanted to use this answer to do something else. You can then hit the answer button, and it'll pop up and repopulate this, and then you can say times 2 if that's what you wanted to do, and then hit enter again. Another interesting thing is that you can also do percents very easily. So let's say you wanted to find 10% of 262. So you would put in 10 and then hit the percent sign, percent of, and then 262. And then it would give you the answer here as well. So that's really helpful. If you need to clear the calculator, you can also hit clear all, and then it will delete things for you. If you make a mistake, then you can hit the delete button and go back. Okay, so that's the calculator function. You also have a handy dandy line reader and a zoom out and a zoom in button. So the line reader I think is going to be really helpful for you because as you can see, you have a split screen for most of the test. You have a reading passage on the left-hand side to give you background information to the experiment, and then on the right-hand side, you have the experiment that you're actually going to run. So to make it less overwhelming for you, go ahead and use these arrows right here. They're very helpful. So if you want to expand the left-hand side of the screen, click on this arrow. It's going to block the rest of it so you don't have to worry about it, and that way you don't get overwhelmed by all of the information that you have at one time. The line reader is also really helpful. So again, it helps you to focus on what line am I actually reading, and that way it'll be easier for you to navigate your way down the page. So you won't have to be, you won't be as confused, and it won't feel as scary when you're reading it. Again, for the reading passages, though, it does give helpful background information, but you can also answer the questions without knowing, or some of them. You can answer set up the experiments without necessarily knowing all of the background information, like we did in the practice this morning. So that's the line reader. To make this side smaller, you just click on this arrow. And then also you'll notice that there is a pancake stack over here. So if you have any options available to you, which on the real test you could probably highlight things, but you could choose that selection here and then you can highlight different parts of the text. You can also expand the right-hand side. So once you're done reading with that, you can go ahead and click this arrow to expand the experimental side of things. And then you can also, again, click the pancake stack to figure out what options you have. So there's a help tutorial. There's also a mark for review button. So just like in math or ELA, you can mark it for review. And when you go up here, it's going to say marked, so you know which questions to go back to. It also has a notepad. So if you're reading and you want to take notes, then you can take notes here. And you can also save it and close it. And then you also can do strike through. So there's only certain parts that you can actually strike through. So if you scroll down, when you get to something that looks like this that you can strike through, you'll notice that a little gray line goes through the actual answer. So this is how you can use process of elimination to help you figure out what's the correct answer. And then when you're done, just click away from that and it'll save your strike throughs. Lastly, when you're done answering a question, if you want to check it, this is for the practice test only. If you want to check it, you can go ahead and click score item. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out the answers. I'm just going to run a bunch of random trials and then I will show you how to check your answer. So I just chose a bunch of random answers, so mine are probably all incorrect. But now that I finished answering them all, I'm going to go ahead and click Score Item. As you can see, this is what I selected, and it was incorrect. It also gives an explanation for why your answer was incorrect, so that could also help you out. But I did get partial credit, so 1 point out of a possible 6. So that's nice. And it also tells you which one you did get correct. So it demonstrates your evidence and ability to interpret and communicate idea from an investigation. So that's why they gave you partial credit for it. So that's how you navigate the practice test and the real test as well. Again, this is one block, so you do want to answer all of the questions on this page before you take a break and before you go on break for recess or for lunch. Okay, hopefully that helps. And then also don't forget to check out the walkthrough videos where I explain how we as science teachers think through some of these questions. Okay, see you then.